Welcome to Dental All Stars. I'm Alex Nottingham, founder and CEO of All Star Dental Academy. And with me is Shelly VanEpps, our COO and executive coach over at All Star Dental Academy. And our topic is management redefined. Please welcome Shelly VanEpps.
Thank you for having me.
I love to have you on the program. You run the company. So I guess, are you having me? Oh, I'm still the host. Okay. So we're talking about management redefined. And this is a bit of a spicy topic
Yeah.
because this is where this came from, everybody listening. So Shelly and I, we run the business together, and and that means I stay out of her way. But with respect to this management, I said, Shelly, you're a really good manager. And you're like, I'm offended by that. I'm a good leader. Management, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, Shelly, let me just, I have an MBA, management business degree, or master's of business, but it's master's of business management is the main specialty. And management, a lot of money put into it. And so that's the way I was looking at it. And I think, like I said, and we'll kind of unpack this, but I think there's a bit of a negative, like we talk about service versus sales, and that sales has got a bad rap. And I think we talk about everything is sales, but we don't like to use that term a lot because of its used car sales. And in dentistry, you have some companies that manipulate. We don't like that. So we prefer service, but we still have to utilize the word sales once in a while, not be totally afraid of it. But we can, okay. But management, you really can't like say, we're just going to get rid of management. I don't do management. I lead. Okay, you can lead, but nothing ain't going to get done. So before we talk about some of that, Shelly, tell us a little bit about why. And you were an office manager. You were
hmm
doing coaching for a while too before you came on to All Star. And you were an amazing manager, amazing office manager, but you don't like the word management. So why the pushback? And you did a podcast, by the way. You like to start trouble. You did a podcast which you probably should do again. I want to hear about it. Called The Office Manager is Obsolete. So we won't go there. So what's going on there,
Yeah.
Shelly?
Yeah. It's a matter of wanting to be about building up other people. It's not about me. It's not about managing, even though I know management is about assessing systems, following through with systems, basically overseeing processes versus leadership being about overseeing people and helping develop them and pouring into them and helping, because the more people you can lead, the more that you can actually accomplish and get done. You can only do so much by yourself. You have to have people surrounding you. And so if you are an amazing manager, but you have nobody behind you, you are going to be pushing up against other people and saying, no, this is how you're going to do it. And you are never going to have people on your side behind you wanting to do it for the right reasons. They're going to do it begrudgingly. And that's why the management part, like, I don't want to be just a manager. I shouldn't say just. I know that's one of our terms. Nothing is just, but I don't want to be a manager alone, because missing that leadership piece, you're not going to be as effective of a manager, if
Sure.
that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense.
So
And
that's kind of where it's at.
I remember in the All Star Dental MBA program that I created, that we have at All Star Dental Academy, our membership. It's a 30-hour program for dentists and practice owners. I do talk about a whole section on management and leadership and talking about their differences. So yeah, I mean, I think that, okay, so, and actually I pulled up AI. We're going to look at it in a minute about the differences between management and leadership in different areas of the business. And we can talk a little bit about it. But I will say that I do like the fact that you orient yourself towards leadership, because in simplest terms, the way I look at it is, you have these office managers, and often they're not leaders, and they're often not
Exactly.
even managers. Okay. I
hmm
think for you, you almost feel that management just comes with the territory. Yeah, I gotta manage, which means to be organized, get stuff done, manage people. But then, leadership is not necessarily the management of people, but it's the motivation of people. It's also knowing, we talk about emotional intelligence, understanding yourself and others. And we're going to do another podcast and go really deeply into that. And we do a whole program on leadership, which we'll talk about for dentists and practice owners as well as team. And that's always throughout our coaching program. So leadership is tremendous. Management also, you're managing sterilization. So everybody's got to be a manager, a time manager in their own way.
Mhm.
And not every office needs an office manager, but you need to develop the skill sets of management and call it as such. And it's not a bad word. And so I think that that has to give attention. But where people really lack the deficiency, and that's probably why you go more towards that, is leadership is just so far gone. Because
Mhm.
again, some offices manage terribly, and those that can manage okay, their leadership skills are forgetting it's a people business. And you're
Right.
not going to have transformative results if you don't take care of people.
Exactly. I know I've been in offices before where they're asking me, Shelly, why are we not getting these results? And so I just step back and watch and listen and talk with their teams, and I start hearing the feedback. And there have been some where I feel like I'm constantly being monitored and watched, and it's that micromanagement feeling and that pressure, and my job is
Mm,
always on the
I like
line,
that.
and it's a matter of if I do one thing wrong, they're going to be mad at me.
Mm,
That should be embraced. Failing forward is okay. And so being okay with your team making a mistake, knowing that, okay, we're going to discuss this, we're going to have a conversation about it because it didn't get us the result we were looking for, but you tried. So thank you for trying. We're going to adjust it. We're going to move forward. This is how we can do it differently to get a different result. Now, if that same mistake continues to happen, then we have different processes
we're
in place.
disappointed. Shelley's
We are
disappointed.
disappointed. We don't get angry. We are disappointed in ourselves for maybe not being clear with the expectation, but also disappointed if you know you were extremely clear, then you can be disappointed in your
It's funny, we have an
team member.
inside joke going because I was saying to you that sometimes I'll utilize anger, but I try to avoid it. And then you said, "Oh, I don't use anger. I just say I'm disappointed." And Heather and I was like, "Ooh, I prefer anger. That hurts." Ooh. But I think what I'm hearing is leadership softens and makes management more effective, I would say.
I agree.
Because what you're saying is you have the extreme form of management, not even say extreme, the dysfunctional form of management is micromanaging or absence of any oversight. Those are both extreme forms of failure of doing the duty of management. Leadership. So I'm going to give you some definitions. I think we should start with definitions, and I know you like stats and things like that. So on
I
the
do.
topic of, I'm going to thank the almighty AI. So focus and orientation. So with management, it's systems and structures, and you are phenomenal at systems. I joke, but when you first came on, you changed one of my spreadsheets, and that was like really irritating. I go, "Ooh, this is not starting out well." And I let it go, and I said, "Let it go, Alex." And then now you just change everything. I gave up that. Okay, I gave up to you. You were better at me, and I gave it up. So it's systems, it's day to day operation of a business. So that's going to be your managers need to be doing that. Okay. Then you have leadership focuses on vision, inspiration, innovation, right, and motivating others towards a goal. Okay.
Exactly.
And that
And
typically, now we talk about the integrator and visionary, and we work on these modalities with our team and our dentists. Is you have that strategic leadership is a little bit more centered on leadership, but everybody needs leadership.
yeah, I was going to say, when I remember I used to be an extreme micromanager, I felt like nobody could do it quite the same as I could do it. I could do it better and I could do it faster. And so instead of delegating, empowering, and letting other people try because I was afraid they were going to mess it up, I would just take it all in until all of a sudden there was this extreme burnout that occurred. And then I thought, I think I need to step back and start adjusting my thought process and really start empowering other people to support me. It was not quick, it was not easy. But as soon as that started happening, I would have one person, I'm like, wow, I can really trust her. This is going really well. Then I'd have another one. Then there was another one. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, so much stuff is getting done all of a sudden, and we're actually making progress. And so by allowing some of that release is where that leadership And that took some time, and it took working on it. It takes building a relationship with somebody. It's open communication, getting through conflict, being okay with accountability. You need to be able to do all of those things. And that's hard when you just have this title of office manager. A lot of office managers the connotation is they sit back in a different room. They're not on the floor. They're not hands-on with the day-to-day. They don't even know what's going on, and they come out here and bark orders. And they're telling me what to do, and they have no clue. And I feel very much that in a dental practice, that should not be the case. An office manager needs to be as hands-on. They need to know what's going on and have a really good pulse and support their team and be open to hearing from them. And so that's why that leadership part just is, it's in my heart. It helped
It's
me
so dear
greatly.
to your
It's
heart.
one of those things I can't let it go, man.
No,
I've
no,
got to.
I get it. What I'm, and you can see, I see this is fun. I want all you to see our discourse here is like, don't dismiss your ability as a manager. I think that management is a good manager and a great leader are both very difficult to find, because if you think about an integrator, for the most part, the skills of an integrator are of the management end. The skills of a visionary are more leadership. It doesn't mean that both have to do it. But yeah, I mean, integrators are, but here's the thing, integrators, a great integrator is more rare than a great visionary, because businesses could run, and the integrator has that management piece. Give you an example. I'm going to pick on our president of coaching. He's a wonderful leader. I think he's one of the best leaders in our company. Probably you two are up there. I admire him. I mean, his emotional intelligence, he's a great leader. People, really love him, and so on. And he's teaching a leadership course. We'll talk about it. But management, I mean, he needs you. I'm the same way. I mean, my management as well is poor, probably a little bit superior. But my point is like the leaders, you can have leadership, you motivate people, but you don't have the management. We're all excited, feel great. You ever see those companies? Nothing gets done. All right. So getting stuff done, Shelly, that ain't your leadership. Sorry to say that. That's the manager. Let me throw some other things out here, and I want you to comment. Okay, just some throw out here.
Okay.
Management.
Right.
Controls and predictability and minimizes risk. That's something that I do a lot when I'm managing, like the books and so on. I'm really good about minimizing risk as a lawyer as well, legal things. Leadership encourages adaptability, willing to take risks, see the long-term perspective. Hold that. I'll give you one other. Decision making, management, data analytics. You do a lot of that, Shelly.
Well done it.
Optimizing processes. You hate being a manager, but you're doing a lot of it. I think you hate yourself. No, just kidding. You love yourself.
I
Cancel
do.
clear.
I do.
Leadership, intuition, future possibilities, creating new paths and opportunities. Okay. So let's just unpack that for a second there. And you see, in terms of, care to comment about some of those modalities?
Nope.
Do you not think management is so? For those listening
I
to the
suppose
podcast,
I
I'm
do a little bit of
convincing,
all of it.
but you can see that of those things, the leadership is important. Absolutely, we teach more leadership than management. Okay, at All Star, but I'm showing you the import. A lot of those things I'm reading there, I'm like, those have a huge impact on the company.
Yeah,
Those
they do.
management things.
And in no way do I believe that management doesn't have a place. I prefer to be considered a leader. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's me, like, I'm not a leader, or maybe
No,
I'm a
no,
little
no,
bit
no,
of
no, no.
both
We
or
are
something.
all, I would actually say this, okay? I would say a great company, everybody's got to be a leader,
I agree with
because
that.
leaders, the ethic, I think what you love about leadership is the ethics of leadership warm your heart. Level
Mhm.
5 leaders, all these things we talk about, that is what fills you up. And everybody's got to be a leader at some point. Doesn't mean you have to be the one that talks. You can lead by being silent and being supportive and caring. Everybody's got a leader. Not everybody needs to be a great manager and have those skills. The dentist, you tell them where to go and they do their job. They're artists, they're not managers. The hygienist, I don't think we can expect that, but I think we can expect that everybody can work on their emotional intelligence. Let me give you this as well. Chew on this, Shelly, okay? Styles of influence, management. Authority, positional power. I know you don't like that. Uses rewards and penalties to motivate. We need to sometimes, right? Bonuses. Leadership, charisma, inspiration, personal connection, trust, and encourages intrinsic motivation. I know that warms your heart.
It
Everybody's
does.
got to have that, okay? Goals and objectives, short term goals and targets. That's your jam. Concentrates on efficiency and effectiveness, management, leadership, long term vision, mission, transformation, and growth. And I think that's why like we get along so well. Because really, Shelly, you're the best manager I've ever seen. And what irritates you sometimes is when I don't stop talking about the long term and big picture. And and you're kind of like, Alex, I get it. I see the big picture. I know what you want. The 100th time I heard it, I was inspired. But can we like get to work now? That's the manager talking.
There's some truth to that. There is definitely some truth to that. I will admit, I do like to get things done. I don't necessarily like to continue to rehash the same thing. It's like, okay. And sometimes I've learned everybody that I have to let some of the ideas sizzle for a little bit, like overnight, because I'll get
You're
inspired
back on
by
it.
an idea and I'll do it overnight. And then I come back in the next morning and Mr. Visionary will say, I said that? I'm like, really?
I don't
I
even
just worked
remember.
on that for like hours. Or I want to have it this way. And I know you guys are probably out there going, yep, that's what happens with me when I'm working with this doctor or when I'm working with that team member. That's exactly what happens. It's normal. It's having a mixture, and you have to have the strengths of all the different pros, benefits, all of our what do I want to say? What makes us unique, our strengths.
Yes.
And so you have to have a little bit of everybody to pull together to have a really strong team. There's one team I work with, and they have every personality style. They have 4 team members counting the doctor. They have a D, an I, an S, and a
So
C
you're
with the personality typing,
and
the
you're
DISC.
talking about DISC. And for those that don't
I am.
understand this, because people don't know this, DISC is a personality profile. It's very easy. We teach it at All Star. Let me throw a
Yep.
few last things at you, and then we'll
Okay.
finalize our redefined. But management, task oriented, leaders, people oriented. Now that goes with a lot with DISC. So task oriented
Right.
is going to be more of a C or a D, and then again, this is DISC for those that understand it. I is going to be more people oriented or S. And so you have management problem solving, established principles, tried and true methods. You love data. You hate when I say Alex says, I think this is the case. I feel it. Show me data. Leadership, innovative thinking outside the box. Sometimes you don't need data. It's a gut feel. So again, and that covers most of what AI was sharing with me and some of the things suspect as well. But again, we're talking about management redefined. I think management has been when people think about management, especially I know in terms of All Star here from you, they think it's like a bad word. It's like either they undervalue it, okay, they or they don't think it's needed, or we don't talk about it. We hear the word time management, we hear the word micromanagement a lot,
Mhm.
but true management, organizational management. For those that don't know, most know my background was not dentistry. Okay. Lawyer, MBA. My dad, who's a dentist, told me don't become a dentist. And if you hear my story, you have to watch our webinar, allstardentalacademy.com/webinar. You'll hear my short story about my father and myself. I work for Tony Robbins and why I created All Star. And we have so many people taking it over and together and leading it. But that wasn't my goal. My goal to study is to work for, you know, businesses, big businesses. And they spend a lot of money for a great manager, high level managers. And what I'm trying to impress upon you, Shelly, and all of dentistry listening is that true management is a skill that is terribly important because and leadership, I would say true management is more rare than, well, so let me ask you this. We're kind of talking this out there. Is true management, again, you throw away what's fake management because we're redefining it. Office manager, fake management. Management title is fake management. Just because you have a title manager, if you give me the title engineer, does that mean I'm a great engineer?
Nope,
You give
not
somebody a
necessarily.
management title, but you give somebody a management title. You give them the management title, But here's the thing, you never give somebody a leadership title. You are Shelly, you could say team lead, I guess.
I was
But
gonna say, that's
true?
actually what my title was, team leader.
Team lead. Okay, you're team
Yep.
leader. But even if I
Instead of
give
office
you
manager, it was
okay,
team leader.
fine, I give you team leader, so I don't have to pay you as much. But okay, but I give you team lead. That's probably why. But I give you team lead, whatever that means. But are you a leader? So these are all concepts. But I'm saying that true management is very rare. And
Mhm.
so I just gave you some ideas to think about what a management is. Ask AI. I mean, and there's research on this, what true management is, and make sure if somebody is a manager and that's happened, and you're using that management capability. And then it comes back to what you love. I know you love, but like I said before, we're talking about this, Shelly. You are a great manager. And I would take that as a compliment. I would affirm that as well as a great leader. And I think and where you again the praise is you have them both. You're strong on both. And I think for us listening, we have to assess our team. Who's better at management? Who's better at leadership? So the great leaders will typically are those who invest in leadership. The visionaries, the doctors typically are practice owner. They will have to invest in a lot in leadership, and we want them to let go of management more because of
Mhm.
just time. Okay.
Yeah.
You when you have integrators and you have higher level managers, we want to invest in management and management tools and techniques and so on as well. But I would say, and tell me if you agree, I think everybody has to be a leader.
Correct. I agree with that 100%. And I also believe that leadership is not something that once you are one that you stop. You have to continually grow and develop that. And, reading, listening to
Ongoing
podcasts,
process. Yes.
ongoing, going to events, going to our leadership retreat,
Yes, we're
whatever
going to
it
talk
might
about
be.
that. Yeah.
Um,
Coaching, all
we
that.
do that annually. All of the things, surrounding yourself with people who are also working on growth. I mean, learning from other people, being open and vulnerable, that is part of leadership. And you can't quit. You can't just say, oh,
No,
now I'm a leader, I'm done.
I got it. Yeah. And I want to
It's
build on
ongoing.
that, Shelly, because I'm fired up around this. And I'm actually going to take the credit. We have another segment that we do together called the coaching hacker tip. But I'm gonna take that and then I'm gonna give you the what's new at All Star to talk about. So with the coaching hacker tip, I like to use an analogy, if you will, about like just working with a personal trainer. And 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 we all know what that we get that. You go to the gym, you work with a personal trainer. And I'm doing that. And not only that, I am having her look at my macros, what I'm eating. But I'll tell you this, I've done all the research. I've developed the weight that I wanted, which I'm about there, multiple times. I know how to track stuff. I know how to
Mhm.
lift weights, right? I'm pretty good at it. Sure, somebody could be a little bit better in some areas. And you know what? I'm smart. I'm going to learn it pretty quickly. And then I know it. But here's the thing. Uh I'm loving it. I'm loving the personal accountability. When we and I want to do a whole segment just on this at some point, but I'm excited and I want to get it out because it's in my mind. But I was just so impressed because I'm training and I'm watching this trainer because I'm a consultant. We all are consultants and coaches, and I'm just so impressed with the service I'm getting and realizing that even though I know this, which you say you know it, but you never really know. That's humility. I can get better. But I'm saying I know this. And the cheap part of me is like, I'll learn it and then I'll do it on my own. But when I go to train, which I'll train later today, whatever, and it's later, and I'm just like, when I'm by myself, it's not the same working with somebody. It's not the same accountability, and so on. And that's so critical as well. So my kind of coaching hack or tip here is coaching is really valuable. And of course, here at All Star, we have a coaching division. Heather, what is your name? Shelly. Shelly is an amazing one of our executive coaches. We have great coaches at All Star, and of course, the plug there. But if you're working with a coach now, I encourage you to do that. There's some wonderful
Mhm.
coaches in dentistry, and to just have people around you, whether it's a fitness trainer, whether it's a dental coach. And I believe that any area that you want to be great at, you should always have a coach, an outside source. Whether you think you need it or not, you're doing it for health and for business because you're going to help. They're not stuck with you. You know, they have a different perspective. And seeing it was cool, seeing it outside and experiencing for myself, because we have a coaching company, and seeing it, it was like, wow, I see where our dentists are coming from. They're like, they get a lot of value with our coaching because it's self-funding and makes them money. But you know, you always go like, you know, where can I cut corners? And I'm thinking to myself, or whether it's training, I'm thinking like, am I going to cut corners on my health? Like, and I see that I'm eventually going to lose steam. I'm going to lose steam if I don't have that accountability. And that small amount of money in the scheme of things is so tremendously beneficial later. It's a great management trick, and it's a great leadership trick by choosing. And I'll tell you this, those are listening, I'm just fired up. We see, and Shelly's going to say, well, show me the numbers. And you probably can find the numbers here, Shelly, I'm sure. But invariably, this is a leadership. Invariably, the client, I see some of our all-star clients, like they'll come to us and say, I'm doing your program, I'm doing coaching. Okay. You're so successful. Your numbers are great. Yeah, because I know it's important, and I'm always coaching. I'm never going to stop, because that's how I stay here. I know, like personal training, I'm going to go backwards if I don't keep doing that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Without seeing the numbers, I just know from experience that's a very common. Yes,
Did
that
you
is
say
a
you agree
very
with me?
common.
You let me off the hook
Without
on that
seeing the
one?
numbers, yes, without seeing the numbers, I would say that is a consistent response from doctors who have already coached in the past, whether with us, with somebody else, whatever it might be, or personal trainer or therapeutic coach or whatever it might be. If they've had a coach, you would not go to a basketball game if you are on a team and not have a coach. It doesn't really work very well. You have to do that. You have to practice.
That's right.
And so whether it's skills and you're practicing and you have somebody helping you with those practice points, you have to do it. And so coaching, that's one of the reasons I love it. I love helping people to grow and to be better. And yeah, it's a good thing. It's a
All right,
good thing.
Shelly, COO, Chief
Yes.
Operating Officer. I have to get that right. Sometimes I stumble and say CEO. I'm like, you're out for my job already? Okay.
No, no, thank you.
COO. Okay. Tell me what's new at All Star. What's going on?
So since we've been talking about this today, we'll go with that leadership retreat that's just around the corner. We are almost sold out, very limited seating, but it is going to be amazing. We have a lot of great people that are going to be there, both attending and presenting. Eric Vickery, our president of coaching, obviously leading it along with myself and you, and Robin Reese, our director of hiring services. Dr. David Peer is going to be there. Amazing background, culture, all of those things. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm super excited about that in Florida.
And
So
that's
that's
going to
the
be
next.
on the 24th and 25th in January. So
Yes,
depending
January
on when you're
24th.
consuming this podcast, this will be released before then. So you can come as long as we have seats. And it's been a very popular program. That's why we're pretty much sold out at this point. And again, if you contact us and we are sold out, that's okay. Based on the interest, we're likely going to do it another year. And we can, and we do leadership with coaching. We do leadership with our mastermind. So I know leadership is a big need. There's a lot of ways. Reach out to us. Shelly will talk to you. Heather will talk to you and to give you so many options of ways to improve your leadership as well. And we also have a lot of free resources that you can consume for that.
Yep. The other part is that we're likely having a team leadership
Yeah, it looks like it.
intensive as well. And
Right.
so, because a lot of people are reaching out to schedule and to reserve seats for themselves, the doctors are reaching out and they're saying, well, can I bring my office manager? Can I have my team lead come and do this? And
Are we doing
so
this,
that
Shelly? Are you letting the cat
we're
out of the
doing
bag?
this.
All
I
right.
think we're doing this.
Okay.
Um,
Well, yes,
it's
we are.
coming, people. It's coming. It's going to be a great
It
thing.
needs to
And
happen. You heard it.
it
You heard
does.
it live here. Is the
I just
leadership
surprised
retreat?
our CEO. We're going to do it, and it's going to be with office
Let me make a
managers, team
note where I'm gonna
leaders,
edit this out. Okay. No, wrong. Go ahead. Just
the
kidding.
people that need support, those office managers. Remember how when they're just managing, they're not as effective. They need to supplement that with leadership. Let them drive your practices. So if you're behind the drill, how are you supposed to know what's going on out on the floor? And you need your entire team to be leaders. And so pour into them. Let them be leaders. Send them to our intensive. Let's do this. It'll be exciting.
What's interesting is what we do with our events is we build them based on what people need. Like I don't want to be doing things just for myself. Like if you guys need it, we build it based on and the need, and it's out there. And so the concept is the leadership retreat in January for dentists and practice owners only. And this is going to be a 2-day deep dive into workshops, expert mentorship into leadership, 5 levels of leadership, emotional intelligence, and so on. And again, Eric Vickery is leading it. We have a great cast of people, but it's going to be a small program. I mean, probably with the presenters and the all-star team, it's going to be less than 30. It's small. And we're already well over, we're like 20. We probably have like 5 spots left in this recording. Like it's not a lot.
4.
4 left. Okay. So, but like I said, please still reach out because there's opportunities as well. This is the idea that Shelly was saying about. We're always learning and growing and processing. It doesn't stop there. So I want you to understand that module. What Shelly was saying, which I guess we are doing it. So we're going to be our All-Star Live program, all right, is where all of our All-Star followers, whether you're a member or just a fan, we have an 2-day event on practice growth and what's new and fun and so on, and a lot of energy and excitement and learning and masterminding there. And the day before that event, we will be launching. It's not available yet. Well, it depends on. We'll have to. There's so many great things we're building. We'll have it on the site. But the point is, if you need help for leadership for your team, reach out, and there's some options for that, because that's the idea of success. The leader, the dentist, the practice owner, they need leadership support. The team leaders need leadership support. And then there's this whole thing in management, which I made my case of management redefined. So to learn more about all of our events, what's going on, go to allstardentalacademy.com/events, or just go to allstardentalacademy.com and click events, and you can learn more about all the dates and so on, and go from there. Shelly VanEpps, thank you so much for being here, our COO, our executive coach. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Remember to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Get the episodes as they are released. Share with your friends. And until next time, go out there and be an all-star.